Alright, so now we're going to talk about two-dimensional arrays. Right, these are very similar to one-dimensional, except now they have two index values you need to work with. But everything we've learned about one-dimensional should work, or will work, with the two-dimensional arrays. Here in front of you, we have an array called exams. If it was a one-dimensional array, we just provided the one size. In this case, rows, maybe. But as a two-dimensional, meaning it needs two dimensions, so it needs two index values. So to define its size, in this case, rows and columns are set to the values of 4 and 3. So we're going to say we have 4 rows and 3 columns. The first index is always used as the rows, and the second always used as the columns, because a two-dimensional array, as you see in the diagram here, represents a table or a spreadsheet, if you want to think about it that way. Where the two dimensions, or the two index values, are used to get to all the individual pieces of data. So here we say we have rows at 4, so we have 4 rows of data. As you see, exam 1, exam, 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 the 4 rows here. And we have the 3 columns going across, 1, 2, and 3 all the way across here. Right, those 3 right there are the columns, and going down, those are your rows. Alright, so we need the two dimensions, always defining rows first, and then the columns second. To get to the individual pieces, just like with a one dimensional, we have to index into it, but now we have 2 indexes. So the first ones, you give it the row you want, which is a 0 in this case, right, and a 0 for the first column. Then 0 still here for the row, again being the first row, and the column at 1. And then the last column, right, is still in row 0, but now we have a 2 there, right, showing that we want that to be the third column. And you see all the other rows are the same. Right? Down here in this row right here, we have 2, 0, and 2, 1, and 2, 2, indicating the 3 columns. Right? But the first 2 is indicating which row we're on, which the 2 is indicating we're on the third row in our table or spreadsheet. Then access the data is the same thing again, just like a one-dimensional, except now we got to give it the 2 dimensions. Here we're giving it the 2 and the 2. We're going to set that location to an 86, so that would change this location here in the cell to a value of 86. Right? And we can use that number just like we, or that location in the array, just like we did anything we did with the one-dimensional arrays, passing the individual value to a function, using it in a formula. Indexing through this will show you the loops to use to index through all this, to add them up, and all those type of things. So everything holds true for arrays that we learned about, except now you just got to provide the 2 index values there for it. Alright. One other thing to point out here, alright, when you're initializing an array, here's that exams array again, a little smaller this time, so 2 by 2, so it has 2 rows and 2 columns, as you see in this little table right there. Alright, so initializing it's still in the curly brackets, but then we can put the individual rows inside curly brackets also within the other set of curly brackets. So this is initializing exam 00 to 84 and 01 to the 78, and then it's initializing 10 to 92 and 11 to 97. So for each row you would have an inner set of parentheses for it, separated by the comma right after the curly bracket there. I think I said parentheses, but it's curly brackets right, inside the curly brackets. So initializing it the same way as a one dimension, except now we got to indicate the rows within the curly brackets when using another set of curly brackets. So there we have it, how to define it and how to initialize it, and next we'll look at how to use it.